about the Mk4 Jetta. It's one of the last 50 mile per gallon diesels that they made. I bought this one right here for 500 bucks. You can buy them sitting everywhere with the automatic transmissions that's gone bad. And so I was gonna do the automatic to manual 5-speed transmission swap. My neighbor owns this parts car and it was a 5-speed, and he was gonna let me get the clutch pedals and all that off of it, and I had it to go by to look at for how things are supposed to be ran. But I wanted to show you in the wiring, it seems to be confusing everybody. If you go to the online forums and you read about the swap, and you got this part version 2 diagram and instructions that GDP wrote up. It tells you how to wire up the park neutral relay and all that, but I haven't found anything as far as a video that shows anybody about the wiring under the hood, and I wanted to show that you never know what you might get into. Right here is the transmission control module wiring plug that I pulled off. Right there is where it came from, down in here under the windshield. And in the instructions, it tells you that there should be a wire coming from this plug to pin 19 of the ECM plug right here. And if you count and look and find pin 19, there's nothing in there. But if you take that plug apart from the transmission control module, you'll find 2 wires. On my 02 model, there was 2 wires, one gray one and one yellow with red. And those are donors. You can use those. You're not going to need the transmission plug anymore, so you use these pins and take those out. And in the Bentley manual for my car, it says pin 66. So I'll take and repin that yellow wire to pin 66, and then the transmission range switch was down here, and it was a 8-pin connector that plugged into the this plugged into the transmission, had 8 pins on it. Okay, and 2 of them are supposed to go to the backup light switch. And so the green one, if you'll read the instructions, it shows you that green one is your positive 12 volts. And then in the instructions it says to use the red and yellow as the other side of the transmission switch. Well, on mine, I'm going to use, since I did the continuity check to the inside of the car for the park neutral relay, I'm going to use the blue one as I've seen in other instructions. And this will come down and be retaped up, and it'll connect to the transmission switch that I got off that other car. Okay, this will plug into the transmission for the backup light switch. It'll be the yellow and blue here. So what I'm going to do is I'll take this red one that also goes to the park neutral relay, and I'll cut it at the relay, and it'll wire into the clutch switch. And then this will lay over there, and it'll connect to this yellow and red that's going into pin 66 to kill the cruise control. Hadn't seen any videos that shows that very clearly, and I wanted to show that you just cut this stuff out, get it out of your way, and then you take this gaffer's tape and you retape it back up. On the inside, up in there, you take your relay panel out. You've got your 175 relay. You take the 175 park neutral position relay out, and you take the connector out and you cut it. Cut that out. That's going to go to that's the red and yellow. That's going to go to one side of the clutch switch. Right there is the black and blue for the backup lights. The yellow and blue wire that's on the transmission switch will go to that one, and then the brown one will go to ground. It's just like the wiring diagram shows that GDP and Alpha Senior in the forum wrote up. But sometimes you have to kind of think outside the box. If you can't find something in pin 19 like they said to find, you find one that is going to the ECM. But I bought this car. This is one of the last few cars that they made that got really good fuel mileage, and this one had 135,000 on it, so I'm restoring it. I'm putting new headliner in. Got the headliner over there, stripped down, ready to go in. Just gonna fix it back up. But I drive about 500 miles a week, and so I have to try to do it as cheap as I can. And I think this is gonna make a good one. This is gonna make a good ride right here when I get the 5-speed in it. I usually get around anywhere from, on my white car, the other Jetta I have, I'm still getting around 45 with it, and it's got 360,000 on it. And so I've got 500 in this one now, plus I gave 3 for the transmission. I'll wind up with somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 in it. Be able to drive it, should be able to drive it for 150,000 miles, no problem. But I'm gonna put a timing belt on it. When you buy something like this, it's kind of like buying a pig in a poke. You don't really know what you're getting, so you want to put a timing belt on just to be sure, because they're an interference engine. It'll ruin the engine. But they're out there. You can find deals really, really good sometimes out there. Stay tuned.